Am I the asshole for embarrassing my parents for forgetting my birthday?
I, F33, just had my birthday last week.
The only problem is that no one in my family remembered.
My maternal grandfather passed away about a month ago and my entire family, mom, dad, and 2 younger brothers, flew back to my mother's home country for the funeral. I, unfortunately, could not go as I've only recently started a new job.
I wasn't particularly close to my grandfather, so I wasn't too upset about staying behind.
My family was gone for a total of 22 days and we FaceTimed and stayed in constant communication during their trip.
I think it's great that my mom got to reconnect with family and that my brothers got a chance to meet everyone. They got back last Wednesday and have been readjusting due to jet lag since then, understandably.
My birthday was last Friday, 2 days after they got back. To be honest, I wasn't expecting more than birthday wishes from everyone, but the day passed without a word from anyone. Was I annoyed?
Sure. But I wasn't too upset.
I'm not the biggest birthday person.
I ended up having a nice birthday dinner with my boyfriend and a few friends. All hell broke loose Saturday afternoon when I got a really angry phone call from my dad. I guess my boyfriend did a special IG post for me and my brother saw it and showed my parents. I had no idea he did this as he isn't a big poster.
Anyway, I could hear my mom crying in the background while my dad laid into me saying that they were sorry they forgot, but not saying anything and then posting about it online was passive-aggressive and mean.
I told him that I wasn't upset and that I didn't think a 33rd birthday was that big a deal anyway. He said a few more things before abruptly ending the call. I didn't hear from my family the rest of the weekend. Today, Monday, I woke up to a bunch of notifications. I guess my mom did a Facebook post talking about ungrateful kids and how I ruined their surprise party for me and tagged me.
My extended family seemed to agree that I was a jerk. I've tried calling my mom, but she didn't answer, so I posted my own reply and said, "You guys forgot and no one wished me a happy birthday unless you count Dad calling and yelling at me."
Both of my parents have been calling all morning, but I don't want to take their calls yet. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Seems like they are trying to make you feel guilty for nothing. Were they really planning a surprise birthday party as per your mom's Facebook post? Not the asshole.
That their reaction is to get mad at and guilt trip you, for what?
Having a boyfriend who makes a declaration of love on social media, to avoid having to feel any guilt or take any responsibility, speaks volumes.
Surprise party? To quite venerated philosopher Cher Horowitz, as if.
Not the asshole. It's unfortunate but understandable that they may have forgotten given having to deal with your grandfather's passing, though you'd have every right to feel upset about them forgetting too. But boy, are the asshole for trying to play the victim for their mistake and get everyone to blame you.
If the truth of what they did shames them, they only have themselves to blame. You didn't call them out, you defended yourself from their lies and manipulations.
Good for you and happy belated birthday. Not the asshole. They embarrassed themselves.
How do you think they would have reacted if you had mentioned it? "Oh, don't be such a big baby, you're too old for this," etc.
And ruined their surprise birthday party for you. Yeah, right. Not the asshole.
You didn't post anything. Your boyfriend, quite sweetly, did. My guess if they feel guilty, so they lashed out.
Or they're embarrassed because someone asked them why they weren't in the pictures and they realized they forgot. Or both. You need to take a big step back from your family. Their reaction to forgetting your birthday is unhinged. Not the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend his family made a bad impression after he told me the same thing? My boyfriend and I went to his sister's wedding over the weekend. It was the first time I met his family. We left Thursday evening and came back yesterday. For context, my boyfriend James is British, while my family is not, so this might be a contributing factor as to why the weekend was pretty uncomfortable. Which it was. On the way home yesterday, James was talking about meeting my family sometime soon, and I said maybe when my dad is next in town. He lives in Spain. James joked he hoped he'd pass the dad test, and I said my dad isn't that kind of parent. I made some joke about this weekend being a Balmoral test, and if I passed.
James got kind of squirmy and said it wasn't a big deal, but I didn't make the best impression on his family.
I obviously asked what he meant. Things I apparently did that were faux pas. Woke up too early and dressed for breakfast. Chose to go to pick up food with my boyfriend and his dad rather than staying with his mom and sisters. Wasn't friendly enough to the kids. Didn't eat enough.
Said no to too many offers, snacks, tea, shower gel, bought wine I liked at a supermarket. Now, I completely respect their right to feel how they feel about the things that I did.
I may not agree, but between cultural and personality differences, if they just didn't like me, that is fair enough.
However, I feel like it was a bit unnecessary of James to mention this to me.
It seemed like he was fishing for some kind of apology from me. I said as much and James said he was just being honest. I said that in the interest of being honest, his family made a bad impression on me too. Things I mentioned that made me uncomfortable. Badgering me about my eating habits. Calling me stunted because I went to boarding school. His mother not allowing me to do anything for myself, such making my own tea. Repeatedly trying to convince me to play with his sister's kids and telling them to bother me when I said no. His teenage cousins making extremely inappropriate remarks to me at the wedding.
The whole family getting absolutely paralytic at the wedding. James said I was being cruel about his family and that I should have kept my comments to myself. He said he was just trying to make the point that I should loosen up when I next see his family. Not saying there was something wrong with me, but I had basically called his family uncouth thugs.
I disagree there's any difference in what was said. Am I the asshole for responding to his comment with my own feelings? Not the asshole, but this isn't a British thing. This is a his family or judgmental Oz thing. I'm British, none of what you mentioned is a cultural difference. I also believe it's a case of, don't dish it if you can't take it, with your response. If he didn't want you to be that honest, well, he simply shouldn't have started the conversation.
What does this mean? The whole family getting absolutely paralytic at the wedding.
Not the asshole. But I don't think he is good long-term boyfriend or husband material for you. He is for fun times only. Is there a dump the asshole option? You're not the asshole.
This is going to sound weird, but your boyfriend and his family treated you like a woman. And I as a cis woman myself find this appalling and I won't tolerate it in my life, and neither should you. Treating you like a woman means expecting you to like children, expecting you to want to hang out with other women when given different choices, expecting you to submit to the head woman of the household, expecting you to not have needs of your own that differ from the group.
Run. Not the asshole. So he's allowed to tell you how his family feels, but you're not supposed to say anything? That's rich.
Just be yourself and have no regrets.
Not the asshole.
He opened up the "let's criticize people" discussion. You just participated with your impressions of the weekend.
If he expected an apology after that, you aren't compatible. Not the asshole. I think you'll be a lot happier away from this guy and his judgmental family. Sheesh. Am I the asshole for saying my sister ruins fun things for me and I won't let it keep happening?
My sister Emily, 15 female, does not do good around people or places she's not familiar with.
She hates being away from our parents and gets really homesick. She gets overwhelmed easily.
Our parents will then make sure to take her out of the environment or cancel plans so she's comfortable again, and they do this for all of us and not just for Emily and one parent, so I, 16 female, could enjoy things still.
It's all of us that leave. This includes our own birthday parties, sleepovers with family members, trips with and without our parents, and plans with friends. This happens to me a lot. I don't think I ever got to fully enjoy one of my birthday parties, and I never get the option to have a party without Emily. Even like a friend thing where we go see a movie. Emily will just text or call my parents and then they blow up my phone. One time I tried to ignore it and they stormed into the theater after us and made me leave with her and berated me the whole way home about letting Emily be miserable for my sake. We did a summer camp for the first time last year and Emily didn't even last the full day. The camp counselors were trying to talk Emily into waiting just a while, but she called our parents and they took both of us home. Another time we went on a multi-class field trip and she hated it and wanted to leave after 2 hours, and my parents demanded that I was going with them. My teacher was trying to tell my parents I could stay and go home like normal after the field trip, but they weren't having it. I have tried everything to get through to my parents, from heart to hearts, to acting out, to crying to them about it. None of it works. None of it will ever work. I gave up on them ever doing better. They told me I can't make Emily feel like a failure. Sometimes Emily will find out my plans and will tell me she's going to ask our parents to make me let her come.
A few times I told her she fucking sucks and I hate her because she knows she won't stay, but she doesn't care if she ruins my fun. Emily told me our parents told her that a good sibling won't resent their sibling for needing to leave early.
I'm so over it all. I was over it years ago but felt like I had no control. Now I'm just hiding plans I really want to keep and trying to make sure Emily can't join.
Then my best friend's parents kinda fucked me over without meaning to. They asked my parents if I could go on Vacadio with them, and my parents were trying to make the invite happen for me and Emily.
My best friend's parents said no.
Then my parents told me I should tell my best friend's parents that I want Emily to come or I won't go.
I said no.
I told them Emily is the last person I want there. They freaked out and said we're sisters, and I said she ruins everything fun and I'm not going to let it happen anymore. They asked me how I could say that, and I told them because she does. That I hate every time I know she'll be included and I'm not okay with always leaving for her.
Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Whatever it is with your sister, your parents are doing a really bad job by making you miss out on all kinds of stuff.
They need a serious wake-up call. Give it a day or two and show them all the replies you get to this.
Not the asshole, your sister sounds infuriating and so are your parents. You should get to live your life.
If she can't handle going and staying for a few hours, she shouldn't go. Your parents are enabling her behavior and their audacity for asking your friend's parents to take your sister as well. Your parents need to understand you are not her emotional support dog, and your life doesn't and shouldn't revolve around your sister. Not the asshole, and at the end of the day, all of the issues with your parents and sister aside, you were invited to a vacation by your friend's parents. It is absolutely not your parents' call to demand your sister gets to go on someone else's holiday. Regardless of if you wanted Emily there or not, she wasn't invited. It's someone else's fucking vacation, FFS. I really hope you get all the replies from this and them show them the thread. They are being ridiculous. There is clearly something not okay with your sister, but that's not a you problem and shouldn't be a you problem. 2 years from freedom. Imagine the Pikachu faces when you fully cut contact. To me, it sounds like your parents are really fucking this girl up. They can live with their decisions. Do you have a trusted adult you could confide in to help you talk to your parent get in to see a family therapist? Am I the asshole for telling my wife she's gatekeeping my time when it comes to our kids and her emotions? Before we go into the situation, I, 33M, own my own company, but the job requires me to be away from home for weeks at a time. When I am home, it's usually only for 4 or 5 days before leaving for work again. My wife, 30F, is a stay-at-home mom who is often overstimulated and who just recently started her own small business. Now on with the situation. So my wife texted me this evening saying I may want to call my daughter tomorrow and talk to her, because she's had a rough day. According to her, my daughter was tired, our 2 boys were fighting, and this caused my daughter to become upset and start crying for me. My wife, being overstimulated, didn't let her call me so she could talk to me. When I asked why my daughter wasn't able to call me, my wife responded with, "I was overstimulated and just wanted them to go to sleep." When I read the word, overstimulated, I called her. My wife's love language is affirmation, and I've learned that calling and giving her words of affirmation helps her calm down. We talked for several minutes with me telling her how great of a job she's doing with the kids and with sales at her business. Because honestly, she has been doing great with keeping the business up and holding down the home front. Then she asked, "Are you mad that I didn't let her call you?" I said, "No, but it does upset me when I find out one of my children was literally verbally crying for me but wasn't allowed to call me." This caused her to blow up on me, saying I don't know what she goes through on a daily basis because I'm always gone for work, and that she feels like I don't respect her feelings as much as I do our children's feelings. So I brought up that this wasn't the first time she's done this and asked her how it would make her feel if one of the kids were crying for her but weren't allowed to call her. She again said I wasn't considering her feelings. So I asked her why she doesn't let them call me if they've been bad. And she replied, "I'm hanging up now. I don't appreciate being told I gatekeep my kids' phone time with their dad as a form of punishment, or that you're not respecting that I didn't let her call because I was overstimulated. Call her in the morning." And she hung up. I never once downplayed the fact she was overstimulated. I just pointed out that I don't want my kids to ever feel like they can't call me when they need me to talk to them after a bad day, because it might cause someone else to be upset. So am I the asshole? Too long did not read. My wife didn't let my daughter call me when my daughter was upset and is now mad that I implied she gatekeeps their phone time with when she's overstimulated or trying to punish them. Edit. I call my wife and kids every morning and FaceTime them for about 2 hours each night.
Too much missing information.
If your wife is constantly overstimulated, I don't even know what that means in this context, then why is she taking on a job in addition to dealing with the kids? What is the financial situation? How much do you make compared to her? Basically, if she's contributing half the income, plus dealing with the house and kids while you're never home, of course she's losing it.
On the other hand, if you're making a ton of money, she agreed to be a stay-at-home mom, and then she's taking on a stressful side hustle just for the hell of it, then that's ridiculous. Sounds like you need to have a serious discussion about roles and responsibilities for making money, raising your kids, and dealing with the house. Your edit makes a huge difference.
Without it, this reads like your wife hadn't let them talk to you at all.
You are the asshole. Your kid was screaming for you after having already FaceTimed with you for 2 hours. There was no reason to think she would stop after talking to you again. Your wife was done with the screaming and fighting and needed the little ones in bed. She did what was best for everyone so the tired kids could sleep and she could avoid exploding in frustration.
My guy. You are gone literally 90% of the time, if not more, and your only contribution to the family outside of a paycheck is a couple hours worth of FaceTime every day.
The only person gatekeeping you from your kids is you. You are the asshole. Who is overstimulated?
What does this even mean? That she's stressed out because she's doing all the emotional and physical load of the relationship?
I'd be overstimulated if I were a single parent of 3 kids under 10, too. You are the asshole. When you make kids, you have to actually parent them.
You've abdicated your role as their father and left your wife to do all the child rearing.
This is not good for your wife and not good for your kids.
Get a new job.
Be home more. Spend time with the people who love you.
If you don't change quick, you'll soon find out that the kids have grown up and you don't know them, and your wife has moved on to somebody who can actually be a partner to her.